Let's talk about it. We have 0 video content for the 3rd week in a row, even though Jared at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year told us, hey, good news, everybody. Every week you're going to have video content. And then we've had like massive dry spells for the last little while, which is what I believe Ollie is intended to fix. But there's some like drama. It's stupid drama because the game sucks and there's nothing to play. There's nothing to do. So the community is pointing their anger, frustration, whatever, at anybody and anything. So that's obviously what's happening here. But this is a deleted tweet from Ollie because it is so bad, I think. He's the new CIG content manager, and he says, from working from home my entire adult life to racking up air miles on the weekly. I think it's very important on the weekly, which a lot of people seem to have completely missed in the comments. What a life, guys. What a life. I'm all good, guys. So again, how do you afford that life? Is the salary that CIG is providing you. How do you get that life is by backers buying things like the Odin. And I think that there's a lot of things to unpack here. Again, I said this earlier. There's one that I wish I could say that I cannot say, and that thing is the most important thing. But I'll say this is like, how can you afford to do that? I think it's very clear that he can afford to do that because he still has his YouTube channel and his YouTube income along with this job. Like this job is like a potential. This is all. I have not talked to Ollie since he got the job. I actually should congratulate him in DMs, but I haven't yet. Well, you know, who knows? He now that he works there, he might not be allowed to talk to me, especially if he works with Jared. So who knows? But the I'm just purely guessing here that this is something like fun to do and less about the money. I can't imagine content manager for Jared would pay a lot. If it does, I think that's the part that the community is a little bit up in arms with, is that if you can afford to fly to work every week, are you staying there? Nobody knows the answer to these, right? So if we look down in the comments, people seem to think that it's like a daily thing, that he flies to work and then flies home. So it's like, you know, maybe 300-400 British pounds to get to work. So then how much do you make? That to me is obviously not happening when you say on the weekly. Again, shouldn't really say this, but I will say this. I know somebody else that was working there that like stayed there during the week. So it was like fly there, or excuse me, train or drive there and then stay for the week and then drive back. That's a lot of people did that when I worked at the casino that I worked at. We all kind of got into a really shitty situation down south in South Florida, and then we found a job that was an hour north. So a lot of us worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That was our shift. That was our schedule. So people would get an Airbnb and stay there over the weekend, right? Yes, and then Marcus gets to the next point that I was trying to make. He's probably racking up the air miles. This is another pure speculation thing, because who knows? He just had a child. He has a home already. I don't know if he's renting or owns, right? But he has a young child. His wife is there. So, you know, not everybody just wants to pick up and move. More people should, to be able to, you know, get out of bad situations from work and stuff. But a lot of people kind of get stuck where they are. You know, and I'm no exception to that. I don't want to leave my place. I love it. The next step is, yeah, he might be looking for a place. And that's the thing, is like, until he finds a place to live, he's got to do a little travel until then. Yeah, I know, Blaze. You guys were a little crazy. I asked a simple question in Discord because it was my understanding that it was possible that, you know, because in the US, this is how it is. Flights are actually cheaper than train tickets in a lot of ways. In my case, train from Florida to New Jersey is only a little bit less. So the idea here is, well, do I take a 4-hour train to work and have it be a similar price, or do I take a 1 hour, 45-minute flight and have it be a similar, like, then the flight is like very obviously the better choice, right? So like, why wouldn't you do that if the price is the same? So there was a lot of things like that were in question, right? So a lot of people were leaving all those things out. But what I think a lot of people took from this was, whoa, are you kidding me? And then here's the thing is, like, I know he just started, but we still don't have any video content. And for anybody who makes video content, and I know Jared's um bar is very high for himself. Like, you just turn on the camera and you talk. You just turn on the camera and you say stuff. And people will consume it and people will be happy about it, right? And they will, like, some will be unhappy and some will be happy, but you just do it. And it's very obvious by Ollie needing to get hired is that Jared has now moved on to other things at the company, or wants to move on to other things at the company. And Ollie is meant to help out with those things, I guess. Because like what he said is he was going to be working on off-camera stuff, right? So, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing to do here. I think that this is now a perfect meme. Like I said, sorry guys, I'm late. My flight was late from my bed to my chair this morning, because it's obviously just a very short flight and it's just a goofy situation. But yeah, it's just, this is all just goofy, and it's my understanding that the UK, the flights are a little bit cheaper, but then chat went and was like really really weird and figured out like how much these flights would be, and yeah, they were like between 150 to 200 pounds or something like that. But I don't know if they were looking at the cheapest flights. So yeah, just goofy shit, and I know I need to comment on everything because everybody wants to know how angry I am about it. Most of the commentary in the comment section was like, yeah, why does he even need to be there? Can't they just do this from home? Like every corporation who was stupid and got a 10-year lease in 2020 on a commercial building, is now, has now forced everyone to go to work, even though they don't really need to. Crazy to think I can't even fly in Star Citizen Weekly from some of their bugs and choices. That gets an upvote. I don't upvote many things. Backers graciously pay for his flights. That is kind of the thing that people are annoyed by. That, again, may not be the case. He might be paying out of pocket for travel. It's possible. But I do think the company subsidizes some travel up to a certain point, probably. Just imagine how much money they're burning. Now, he's not a CIG content creator. He's a content manager helping Jared with everything that's not in front of the camera. He may or may... Okay, so that's... Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Still doesn't explain why he flies weekly. Sometimes content man... Like, this is my favorite. How do you know what a content manager is? Like, this guy is not in content. Like, there's no fucking way this guy has any idea. And he's like like AI message here, probably. CIG is notoriously against work from home, again, because they did what? They spent way too much money on that office. Let's go to, here it is. This was like the comments that I was seeing the most of. And I feel like I need to say this. Listen, I love Ollie, but he is now the enemy, and I'm never going to defend him if he comes on camera and says fucking something stupid, okay? That's it. Like, you are now the enemy. You are in marketing at CIG. So you will never be safe from stupidity here or doing something stupid. But I will be protecting him in this case because I understand the situation and nobody does. He was with the Impound, which was like this third-party website that you can like buy ships on, and some of them are below the price of CIG ships when they come out, and some of them are way above the original price that was sold, like rare things. I think, what is it? The Saber Raven is like thousands of dollars or like $1,500 or something, right? him being the biggest face for the RMT shop was, yes, he was the biggest channel that took the sponsorship from that shop. And I was extremely critical of him doing that. And I was publicly critical about him doing that. I think I believe I messaged him in DMs about it, being critical about it. And then I even told him, hey, I work with this agency. If you want to work with my agent and get actual sponsorships, here's where you can go. He dropped the RMT shop from all of his videos. He went with my agency and thanked me for it, right? There is a problem, though, that I didn't know about until after, and I can give some context to that, and that is that he made an ad for that website, okay? And when you make an ad for anybody with a sponsorship, typically, there's a period of time that you sign in the contract where they're allowed to use your likeness and use you to make an ad for themselves. So like you could do a sponsored stream and they can turn that into an ad that they put on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. If they like the way it played out and they like that you can, they can cut it up into something useful. It's something that's in almost every contract that I've ever done. And you really got to read the contract and make sure it's not perpetual for life or things like that. But no matter what, no matter how long that he has dropped it, that period is probably not ended. So the people who are saying that they're seeing like ads from him and stuff, that they're not from him. It's an ad that he recorded before he dropped them that they're still using. So just to give context to that, you may literally see ads from Ollie while he's working at CIG undermining CIG funding, right? And it'll make no sense. And I think that's what a lot of people in the comments were confused by. But that's why. No, you can't ask them to stop. You signed the contract. You signed the rights to your likeness away to the company. There's no, oh, can you please stop that? No, you can't do that. I mean, you can ask and they can stop. You can always ask, but you don't have anything that, like, you can't, like, get a lawyer and tell them to stop because you got a job somewhere else. It was, you signed it, right? It's like contracts are pretty fucking ironclad, and that's how it is. So for anybody who doesn't understand that situation, I'll give you some context there. But yeah, that's really it. It's just a funny situation, and it was just the wording of it. Like, man, I'm racking up air miles on the weekly going to my new job at CIG, and it's like, who the fuck can afford to fly to work? Like that was immediately, like, just a way, like, there was no need for him to post it. And he could have just made it look like, he was flew for the first time, things like that. So that's it was just very weird and disconnected and not understanding like what most people in the world situation are in. And yeah, he deleted the tweet, but you don't get to hide on the internet from your stupid mistakes. And honestly, it was what everybody in my Discord was talking about yesterday. So I figured we'd start the stream with that and just get it out of the way. And I wanted to make sure that there was like a YouTube video somewhere on the internet that I can point to every single time they bring up this RMT thing so that people can understand what is happening there a little bit better and the context to the situation. Because people make mistakes and they don't understand why something may be bad until somebody explains it to them. I explained to them why the RMT shop was so fucking bad as a content creator. Like, if you actually love I don't love CIG, or at least I don't love CIG marketing, but I love Star Citizen. And I would never take that fucking sponsorship, no matter how much they paid, because it would actively hurt the game. I hate the way the game is funded, but it would actively hurt the game. Period. It's nothing about like, oh, it's against my brand or anything like that. It was strictly that would hurt the game. That would hurt the game getting better. Could potentially have shut the game down, like, probably not, but it could. And it's like, if you're going to make content for this game and then your main source of sponsorship is actively hurting the game that you want to succeed is ridiculous, right? Yeah, Mr. Kraken got one. I don't even think I got an offer, to be honest. It would be ridiculous to give me one because, again, it's completely against what I stand for. I think the funding of the game, ships and money is the worst possible situation. But yeah, I was under the impression that using those shops were bannable. The gray market is not bannable. As far as we know right now, it's like this gray situation that CIG is allowing to still exist, because they know that people buy the Idrises and the Krakens and the Odins and all these massive ships to flip them for profit. A lot of people are buying them to resell. Not a lot of people are buying them because they want them. Or not everyone, I should say, is buying them because they want them. I do think a lot of people were buying Idrises because when the Idris sales were going off, that's all that was in servers, right? So a lot of people bought them to play them. But yeah, gray market sales make CIG money, but it also hurts at the same time, right? The concept sales that go live at higher prices, people will go to the gray market and buy them at lower prices, right? I want to get a Kraken, but it's near impossible to get one with credit. Yeah, exactly, because they sell out instantly. But just get it in the game. Just play the, like, again, I can't express this enough. This actively hurts the game. Just you even wanting to buy the ships actively hurt the game, because what are you gonna do? Like, if you want a Kraken, you would play the game to get it. Normally, in a real video game, you would play the game, and that would be your achievement in the game. But you can't do that because the game is in such a bad place, and then it's so easy to just click a button, right? But anyway, that's it. Just wanted to talk about that real quick and make sure I cleared up some misconceptions, as well as just laugh at the silly situation and how silly the tweet was worded, and just kind of very odd situation. So there you go.